Hi, so here we are with a tale of two tripods, and these are two Flowtech tripods from Sachtler. We have the Flowtech 75 on my left and the Flowtech 100 on my right. As you can see, they look pretty similar. They are essentially the same thing in two different sizes. The 75 is a 75mm bowl tripod and the 100 is a 100m bowl tripod. But are those the only differences? Let's have a look. So let's start with the similarities. They will both go up to a height of about 150 centimetres, and they'll go right the way down to about 25 centimetres when the legs are splayed all the way out. They will both take the standard heads, so this will take standard 75 heads and this will take standard 100mm heads. They both have these ingenious lever locks at the top of the legs to allow all three sections to be released and indeed locked at once. They both have these equally ingenious little leg stoppers which allow you to lock the tripod legs at different gradients, different heights, depending on where you click it into. That's really useful when you haven't got the spreader on. They both have the ability to use mid-level or ground level spreaders. Now, the differences between these tripods are: the 75mm tripod will take 20 kilos of weight on the top. The 100mm version takes 30 kilos, so that's 10 kilos payload increase. Although they're both made of the same stuff, this is slightly thicker and sturdier legs, so it weighs about 1 kilogram more than these legs on their own. Bearing in mind, I'm looking at the tripods themselves here, not the heads. So the heads is an additional weight in either size. You can put any 75mm head on this and any 100mm head on this. I just happen to have nice Sachtler ones on here at the moment. And what other differences are there really? The 100mm tripod allows you to use 100mm heads, and generally speaking, 100mm heads have a lot more drag. They have the ability to have more drag. So if you're doing something with a long lens, you want as much drag as possible. So this is on drag 2 of 7. Drag 7, I can barely move the thing around without any weight on the top of the head. Whereas on drag 7, this only goes up to 5. On drag 5, on the 75, it's still pretty easy to whittle around. Same with the tilt drag as well. There's more drag on the bigger head. There's also more steps of counterbalance. So those are the basic similarities and differences between these two tripods. I'm really lucky to have a chance to compare one to the other. What I think really you need to base your decision on is whether you need a 100mm head, because frankly, apart from shooting air shows, really long lens work and much heavier setups, this is £1,500, if not more, cheaper than this. It's bigger, it's meatier, it is a little bit more solid. It's got a better mid-level spreader with more adjustment levels to it. But overall, they're identical in terms of how the speed with which the legs work, using the little clickers to lock the legs, all that is all the same. It's just bigger at the top. It is a bit meatier, but it doesn't really, in real world, I don't think that really makes a huge amount of difference. If you really, really need the drag of a 100mm head, and you are getting beyond the weight limit of a 75mm bowl head, then the 100s are for you. But for someone like me who uses an FS7, albeit with all the gear on it, this is more than adequate for me. And from a staunch 100mm head user, which I used to be, this has outperformed my greatest expectations actually, and I think it's amazing. However, I am going to be testing this thing a bit more rigorously over the next week or two, and I'll give you my feedback on it then to see if I found any more advantages or disadvantages of the Flowtech 100 over the Flowtech 75. Thank you very much for watching. I've been John Fry.